see when you walk into a room? Do you see a space filled with objects, or do you see potential? What about an empty room with white walls? Do you get overwhelmed at the idea of having to design space within it? Every day, people come in contact with architectural spaces and don't stop to realize that an interior designer has put a limitless number of hours, and most likely their blood, sweat, and tears, to create an inviting space that sets a specific mood. The International Interior Design Association defines an interior designer as a licensed professional whose purpose is to improve the quality of life, increase productivity, and protect the health, safety, and welfare of the public. The interior design field rarely receives the credit it deserves, mainly because many individuals are misinformed about what it takes to be a true designer. There is a strenuous and thorough background of education and work experience one must go through on top of possessing natural talent. One must understand that the educational background, common misconceptions, and potential job requirements of interior design before jumping into one of the most competitive markets in today's workforce. Choosing to study interior design is a great commitment that requires a person to have passion for the field, or odds are they'll quickly change majors. The U.S. Department of Labor says the basic coursework includes AutoCAD, drawing, perspective, spatial planning, color and fabrics, architecture, ergonomics, ethics, and psychology. A person must complete 6 years of a mixture of interior design schooling and work experience. The most common combination are either 4 years of schooling and 2 years working under a licensed professional, or vice versa. After completing these requirements, is a person eligible to take the National Council of Interior Design exam to legally have the title and practice interior design. Before a person decides to put themselves through the stressful process of becoming an interior designer, there are a few misconceptions that must be understood. Rhonda Morin, an interior designer and author of The Decorating Bible, wrote an article informing people that this field interests The Decorating Bible that wrote an article informing people that this field interests the true job description. Rhonda stresses that a person thinking about entering the interior design field should take as many selling/marketing classes as possible. Why, do you ask? The biggest misconception about interior design is that it only consists of picking out paint chips and fabric. In actuality, interior design is 90% networking, 7% paperwork, and only 3% of design. No matter what niche of design an individual decides to specialize in, whether it's commercial or residential, there are 4 phases an interior designer acts as a conductor of an orchestra for each project. The first phase is programming, where the designer usually meets the client to learn what their wants and needs are for the potential space in question. This stage also includes creating project schedules that architects, contractors, electricians, and plumbers will use in the entire process of this project. The second phase is conceptual design, where the client approves the preliminary plans and concepts including the character, function, and aesthetic features of a project. The third phase is what most individuals are familiar with, the design development stage. This is the creative stage where the designer presents a full presentation proposing drawings, perspective renderings, colors, fabrics, finishes, and lightings to the client. Finally, the contract documents, administrative, and evaluation phase is where the designer works with other professionals for the project, making sure that permits and safety requirements are being met, and most importantly, keeping the client happy in the entire process. As one can see, there is more to interior design than Martha Stewart in the history of polka dots. The designer must balance budgets, schedule contractors, and complete a project on time while maintaining his or her creative intuition. The next time you walk into a building or a home, I challenge you to stop for a moment and take in the surroundings which you stand. Encourage others to appreciate the color palette, furniture, lighting, and the thought that was put in to creating an aesthetically pleasing environment.